Baruch Flashman here with the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. I am your lift manager and becoming the Saba of this yeshiva, this online yeshiva called the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. And anyone who plugs into it, of course, thank you very much. It's voluntary. And we're sending these things out. Now, yesterday, we're learning Parshas Pinchas here in the Midnight Zohar. It's late, and we're or early, depending on how you look at it. Let's go over here and let's see. Yesterday, when we looked at this little shtickle Torah, the Zohar said like this: he took the Yud, letter Yud, that's that famous Yud that was added to the name Pinchas, which allowed it to have the same gematria as the name Yitzchak. This Yud is a very special letter. He says, the Zohar Pinchas Bey, Pinchas earned this. Begin the Kane al Bris, Zohar the Bris. So apparently the letter Yud represents Bris, and we see this in other places too. It lands up, ultimately lands in that place, which is the tip of the Yesod, which is the place of the Bris. Let's train Yudin Ina. Now, let's understand this. He says this introduction maybe to what's coming later. He says there's two different Yuds. Yud Ilah min Havaya, that's the first letter of the name Yud Ke Vav Ke. The card is Bei La'abracha Bebein Es Etz Ba'oz the Yadin, that he made this Bris between the 10 fingers of his hands. Now, exactly what that means, I said last time I didn't know, and I'm waiting to I'd like to find out. Yud Ze'era, then there's a small Yud. Ihi min Adni, comes to the name Adni. So you have the concept of male and female here, because Adni, at first you take the first letter of Havaya, and then you take the last letter of Adni. So that's like going from the top to the bottom. The card is Bababain as is both the Raglim, and so this bris was made through the 10 fingers or 10 toes of the feet. Bihu Oskadisha, and this letter Yud, it really represents the bris itself, this holy sign, this Antra Rishima law that is actually crowned on the upper Rishima, on the upper stamp. Now exactly how that works, I'm not sure. So let's go over to the place where we're at today, and there was a little mysterious stuff over there, but now we're going to go someplace else. V'dah Israshem Tamid La'alman. So this Yud is now stamped always in the universe. What does that mean? Ihu owes the Shabbos. It's also the sign of Shabbos. Owes the Tefillin. It represents the sign of Tefillin. Owes the Yomim Tovim and of holidays. Owes the Shakai, the Rashim al Mezuzahs Beisech V'Shirachos. It's also the Yud that you find in the name Shakai, that is stamped or impressed on the Mezuzahs that you put on your house and on your gates. Lebechevi Bab Rishimin Yisrael. So it has really a stamp or some kind of a sign for the Jews. This is another one, Bei Rishimin Yisrael, Berut Suaihu, with the straps of their tefillin, we have this little Yud that has to touch on the box of the tefillin of the hand. Bebris de Lahon, so it refers to our bris. Let's say Bebris de Lahon. The Inon Bonroy de Matranisa, because the Jewish people are the children of the queen. Benoy the Heichel de Malka Kadisha, he describes it further. He says we are the children of the palace of the holy king. He says Eden Rishimin Ba'as Yud Ilah. So in the study of the Torah, this Yud comes down and makes an impression on that. The Inon B'nei Malka Ilah, because we in fact are the children of the upper king. Kamadok Muhu, now we explain is like this. We have that we are children to Hashem Elokeichem. Now let's look at the Matuk Midrash and see how he understands this. And he says like this, so he begins and he says like this. He says, the V'dah, that is the Yud, Hazu shall Osa Bris, the Yud which represents the Osa the Bris, Israshim Tamid La'alman, he Nershemes, it's impressed or stamped, Tamid La'olam im Adam Animov, with a person, so I'm not sure exactly what this would mean, but a person who has a bris, so it's a constant stamp that this person has. The Yud Hazoso, so this Yud also, he says, he Osh Shal Shabbos, represents Shabbos. Osh Shal Tefillin, the Osh Shal Yomim Tovin, the Osh of holiday, the sign of holidays, is this one idea. Yud represents Chochmah, which is Chochmah, the Rashis, I guess. And now the flow of all Kedusha comes out of that letter. V'os Yud shel Shakai are their shemes al mezuzah pesach v'shiracha. Also that Yud. V'chatam shetzarek la'adam gam os tefillin. So why is it that a man also has to have a sign on the tefillin, the Shabbos, and also Yom Tovim? Me'achasher yesh lo os bris, and the reason why that this extends all to that is because the person is circumcised. So he said, "Kedei sheyiyi yisro shumim bo," so the Jewish people could be stamped with this. This is like a sign on us. Ritzon alom b'laharas the call esa os, in order to show in everything that we do this sign. Masha. So he's saying like this, that the bris is really a secret of all of these different holy events that take place in our lives, and the holy names. Masha ein kain os bris hagavura b'abanu. He now lamas velo nikeres ela the adam atzmo. So the thing about this is that, let me just read this again. But so the haros the call as a os to show everyone this bris. He said masha ein kain os bris hakavua banu. So that's the concept of the bris, which is really attached to Pinchas. But on us, it's he now lamas. It's a bris that's hidden, because it's covered over. The only one who knows this is the person itself. So he says also, Birtzoaihu. That's apparently how you pronounce it. I don't know, something like that. It means the straps of the tefillin. V'gam tihya yud nikeres birutzoasehem. The height of the bekesher tefillin, that is in the knot of the tefillin, when we tie the tefillin onto our arm, shal yad shuhu b'tzuras yud, has to be in the sign of the yud. That yud has to be touching the box of the tefillin. As a ayin shahi nikeres bebris kodesh shalachem. So the same idea is that this bris has to be touching. It's like a male and female type of thing, and it's the yud itself is touching the box, which is female. But he shall I guess there it is. Yud shall a bris. So now this yud of the bris, nikarim the Yisrael. That's how you know who is a Jew. He said, "B'shem banim shal malcha," which is the children of the king. The hainu shehem banim shal heichel hamelech hakadosh. This is the children of the holy palace. Shehi hamalchus hanikbas heichel the teferes, which is called the palace. In other words, what's the right way? The house of teferes, which is their anpin. Torah, when we sit and we learn Torah, Haim Rishumim Ba'os Yid El Yonah Shal L'Shem Avaya. Now, what is the Haim? He says that we're talking about the Heichel, which is the house or the housing of Teferes, which is their anpin, and that's a Yichud, Lashon Yichud. Of the Esek Torah, when we learn Torah, Haim Rishumim, that is these two, the Zivug of Zohar V'Nog, Ba'os Yud El Yonah Shal L'Shem Avaya. So that's where you see that's that Yud. Now I want to read this again because I didn't quite get the metaphor. So he says, let's go back. He says to this phrase, the Idun Bonoi de Matronisa, that the Jewish people, Yisrael, represent the children of the queen. So who's the queen? That's Malchus Shehem Banim Shalamalka, which are the children of the king. Now either he means the king or the queen, but at any rate they go together. That's what he's saying. So they are the children that are produced as a result of the meeting of the Malka, which is the king, and the Heichelo, which is the house, which represents their anpin, and the Nook, that's Zohar, the Nook Kadisha, the holy ones. Shehim banim shalach Heichel HaMelech HaKadosh, because we are the children of the king, we're the product really that comes out of the Heichel of the Melech HaKodesh, which is their anpin in the Nook, she represents the Heichel. She ha-malchus ha-nikbas Heichel ha-teferes, and she's called the palace Teferes. Then he says, when we're learning the Torah, that Yud is really what that all represents, that Yichud, that as a result of the Bris Kodesh. So then, therefore, when we're learning the Torah, so that's where you see that, because the Chavai itself represents their anpin, which are the children of the upper king, who is Teferes, which is their anpin. Kamosha Bir Haverin, this has been explained. For Harvard Lamandach Al Zen Emar, so we learn on this, it says, the Hainu, Litiferes and Malchus, the two of them coming together. Nimsem Sha'os Bris Kolelas Be Shemos Beseser. So it means that the Bris really corresponds within himself, or corresponds within itself to two hidden names. So he says, "Avlima the Torah b'Shabbos and Yom Tov," and then when you learn Torah on Shabbos and Yom Tov, or b'Tefillin, or when you put on Tefillin, Kolel Shnechem Begilui, then you'll be able to see the two. What is the two? The two is the Bris and the Nook that the Bris is attached to. This is Baruch Fleischman. This is the Midnight Zohar at the Tikkun Elevator Kolel.